Now, as before, and before it's too late, I have got some exciting news to share. Equally, I send another apology to Mama Crow, who is wondering where I'm going with all of this, but it's coming soon, so it won't be for much longer, Mother. Now, with that said, mark your calendars for Crime Con Manchester 2025, partnered by True Crime. And it's set to take place on the 27th of September 2025. So CrimeCon UK is going to the fabulous city of Manchester for the very first time this year, and I will be there with my Crow Crew girlies. And as well as us, there'll be some of the biggest names in true crime. What will be the ultimate true crime event? Now, whether you've been watching my content from the very start, I sympathise and thank you greatly, or maybe you've just started binging, this is your chance to meet me in person, share your theories, and maybe even uncover new details about some of the stories that I cover. I'm very excited to meet you all. I don't bite unless you ask me very nicely. But join me and the true crime community at CrimeCon Manchester, partnered by True Crime, the expert-led true crime channel, available across all platforms. Let's make this the most unforgettable crime con yet. And crime cons are always unforgettable, to be fair. You won't want to miss it, and I really hope to see you there, and if you're there, come and find me. But now on with the episode. However convoluted a case ends up being, whatever the twists and turns and red herrings, murders often boil down to the same base motives: love, lust, revenge, greed, stroke, money. Other deadly sins are available, but you get the point. There are those rare occasions where someone is just in the wrong place and the wrong time and get caught up in something random, but usually the reasons behind murder are depressingly familiar. In today's case, we will follow twists and turns until the case becomes a familiar one. We're heading to Virginia and to 2023 to look at a double murder that takes some unpicking. This is the Banfield case, and this is Murder of Crows. Herndon is a town in Fairfax County, Virginia. Located in northern Virginia, it is part of the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. In 2020, the population at the census was 24,655, which makes it the largest of 3 incorporated towns within the county. The early settlement was named Herndon in 1858, after Commander William Lewis Herndon, an American naval explorer and author of Exploration of the Valley of the Amazon. Commander Herndon captained the ill-fated steamer SS Central America, going down with his ship while helping to save over 150 of its passengers and crew. In the 1870s, many northern soldiers and their families came to settle in the area, taking advantage of moderate climate and low land prices. Originally part of the rural surroundings of the Washington, D.C. area, the town of Herndon developed into a hub of dairy farming and vacationing for area residents, aided by its presence along the Alexandria, Loudon and Hampshire Railroad, later to become the Washington and Old Dominion Railroad. When the railroad was converted into a hike and bike trail, Herndon capitalized on history and small town feel within a major metropolitan region by converting its train station into a museum and visitor center, and by relocating a Norfolk Southern Railway caboose to a nearby site and repainting it in the W&OD livery. The caboose was originally acquired in 1989 by Herndon Historical Society member George Moore, to whose memory the caboose was dedicated after his death in 2003. Although the caboose itself never travelled through Herndon, it remains an iconic part of the downtown area that locals and tourists alike visit daily. The caboose and station offer a glimpse of the original downtown's historic charm, which residents are passionate about preserving. On January 14, 2004, the town of Herndon commemorated its 125th anniversary. But in contrast, one of its darkest moments happened in 2023. On the morning of February the 24th, 2023, a frantic 911 call came in from a Herndon, Virginia neighborhood. The call came in at 7:49 a.m., but when the dispatcher answered, the line went dead. 13 minutes later, at 8:02 a.m., the same number called back. This time, 2 voices could be heard. 24-year-old Brazilian au pair Juliana Perez Magalhães sounded panicked, hyperventilating, as she told the dispatcher, "A friend of mine is hurt." But before she could explain further, another voice took the phone, and this was her employer, 39-year-old Brendan Banfield, with him saying, "I just shot a man. He was attacking my wife." When officers arrived at the home, they walked into a bloody crime scene.
Hey, Paul. Or Jose. You got that. You got that. I need you to watch out, Matt.
There's a dog back there. So somebody's outside. Someone's outside in the back?
In the back?
There's a dog in the back. Anyone else outside? Huh? Who else is outside?
Nobody's outside.
Anybody over here?
In my room. And here.
Here, stay here. Man.
Hey,
Stay right here.
who is the shooter?
Who shot who?
Brendan, he's an officer.
I got a blowout kit if you need it.
Bring it up.
Is there anyone else in the house? Any kids in the house? Okay.
Yeah, if you want. I'll hold down here.
Okay.
Bring her down here and we can get info directly from her.
Hey, help
Ma'am, can you come down with me?
Anybody else have a blowout kit? She's breathing. She's got a lot of stab.
I think Zach just said yeah.
We're getting the ambulance here now.
My host kid is downstairs.
Okay.
I'm in here.
How old's your host kid?
She's 4.5.
Four and a half. Where is she?
I need to talk to her. She doesn't know anything. What's
Can we get her and we'll go outside?
Yeah, I'm gonna get her.
No, not the shooter itself, but I think he's upstairs.
Where do we look?
Hey, she's grabbing their 4-year-old. We're gonna go outside.
Okay, perfect.
She's 4, please.
It's okay. Yeah.
She's just 4.5.
I know this is hard. Let's get her outside, and then I need to get some information from you.
Hi, Val.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
Hey, I'm Officer Bell. Nice to meet you. Do you want to go outside with us?
We need to go outside, okay?
Let's go.
Come here. Come here. I'm gonna take this out.
Yeah, whatever you need to do. What's your name?
Juliana.
Here.
Okay, so you're with him. Okay.
All right, let's get outside, okay? It's okay. Just breathe, okay? Okay, let's go out this way. So,
I was telling him I was going out.
It's okay, take a breath. It's okay. Take a minute, okay?
I need some water.
You want to sit down somewhere?
I just need water. I'm sorry, English is not my first language.
Oh, you're fine.
I was going out with her daughter.
Okay, yep, she's sitting over there.
And then I forgot our lunch to bring it. And I was coming back to the house to get the lunch.
Okay. Yes.
Then I saw this car, strange car. And I called her, why the car is here? I don't know who it is, but it was a straight to voicemail, so I couldn't talk to her. And then I called Brendan, her husband.
Okay.
And then he said, wait for me, I'll go there. Don't go inside. And then he came back here. And we went inside. And then we went upstairs first, and then I went to see what's going on. And I heard the guy was, I don't know who.
It's okay.
I don't know what he was doing. He was banging Yeah, I don't know.
You heard what?
It's spanking her. I heard, like, I don't know what was that. And Brendan said, police dropped the knife, because he had a knife. And then he said, drop the gun to Brendan. They were yelling. I couldn't understand. They were super fast.
Okay. Okay. You want me to see if I can try to get you some water? Yeah.
Yeah.
Upstairs in the bedroom, they found 37-year-old pediatric nurse Christine Banfield bleeding from multiple stab wounds to the neck. Laying next to her was 38-year-old Joseph Ryan, and it would later be found out that he was a mixed martial arts enthusiast, and he was dead from 2 gunshot wounds, one to the head and one to the chest. The entire room was covered in blood. And a knife, 2 guns, and a bag of fetish sex accessories were scattered around. According to police reports, she was undressed while Joseph remained fully clothed. First responders transported Christine to the hospital, where she later died from her injuries. If this scene wasn't already tragic enough, 4-year-old Valerie, the Banfields' daughter, who was present during this entire ordeal, well, she was found unharmed in the basement. Police duly took Brendan and Juliana in for questioning, where they explained to the police what had happened. According to them, they had come home to find Ryan attacking Christine, so Brendan shot him in the head. It sounds cut and dry, but these things never are. And after Brendan gave his brief statement, he then refused to speak with investigators again, which seemed odd to investigators, who imagined that any husband would go to any necessary lengths to find out what happened to his wife. But his au pair, Juliana, well, she was far less tight-lipped. During a 9-hour interview, Juliana told police that she was on her way to the zoo with the baby, the little girl, but then she'd realised that she'd left the lunches in the fridge and went back to the house. When she got there, she said she saw a man with a bag entering the house through the front door. When she saw that, she called Christine, who had been inside the home alone, but she didn't pick up the phone. So not knowing what to do, she called Brendan, who had only just left for work. So he swung around and immediately came back home. When he got there, the two walked into the bedroom together, and there they found Joseph standing over a kneeling Christine with a knife to her throat. Juliana said that's when Brendan shot Joseph in the head. The case should have ended there, cut and dry, a fully justified shooting with a man defending his wife. But And it's a proper caps lock, full on big, but there was just one problem. Police found no signs of a break-in, and the entire scene looked staged. So they started a 19-month investigation into what actually happened in that home. So let's backtrack just a touch to look at the whole situation. Christine Banfield had been married to IRS Special Agent Brendan Banfield since 2015. They lived in a $1 million home with their young daughter, and in 2021 they hired au pair Juliana to help care for their child. So far so normal, if very rich. A patient of Christine's remembered her as a caring person who told him that she was planning on hiring a South American nanny and wanted her to feel at home away from home, which gives an insight into her nature. As the investigation went forward, life went on for Brendan. He had a funeral for Christine and continued raising their daughter. In October 2023, investigators served a search warrant on the Banfield home. They found that after Christine's funeral, and just 8 months after her death, Juliana had moved into the master bedroom with Brendan. Talk about taking your work home with you. During a search of the house, investigators found her clothes in Christine's closet and pictures of Brendan and Juliana together in intimate poses, much like a husband and wife would have. And pictures like that were framed on the nightstand. How very happy families. But perhaps a wee bit hasty and a wee bit tone deaf in the circumstances. During the investigation, police found out that by August of 2022, Brendan and Juliana had started having an affair. They took romantic trips to New York City, sent intimate messages, you know the kind I mean, and began plotting to get rid of Christine. In the months before the murder, Brendan allegedly told Juliana that it would be so much easier for us if she was not around. What a charmer. Brendan and Juliana went to a firing range together, and then on January the 28th, 2023, Brendan bought a Glock 43X handgun at a shooting range. The same gun that Juliana used to shoot Joseph. On October the 13th, 2023, police arrested Juliana and charged her with second-degree murder. For nearly a year, she stayed in jail and refused to talk. How terribly noble of her. The investigation continued, and Brendan was arrested on September the 16th, 2024, on 4 charges of aggravated murder and 1 charge of use of a firearm in the commission of a felony. Commonwealth Attorney Steve Descano said, Early last year, a double murder devastated two families and shocked our entire community. We will put forward the strongest case possible at trial. Fighting words from the prosecutor. When Brendan appeared in court, his lawyer, John F. Carroll, argued, "The evidence just doesn't add up." But then, what would we expect him to say, really? It's his job. But Judge Penny Azkarat disagreed and denied him bail. Brendan's trial was then scheduled to start on February the 3rd, 2025. Then 2 days before jury selection for her October 2024 trial, Juliana took a plea deal. Uh-oh, trouble in paradise. With the deal on October the 29th, 2024, she pled guilty to manslaughter in exchange for her testimony against Brendan. As part of her deal, prosecutors agreed to recommend her release after Brendan's trial, provided she fully cooperated. Her sentencing date was set for March the 21st, 2025, after Brendan's trial. Attorney Descano described her plea agreement as a significant step forward in the case, and it is an important development in our pursuit of justice for the victims and their families.
Today in court, the au pair told prosecutors she and the husband, Brendan Banfield, used a fetish website to lure a stranger to the house, Joseph Ryan. Prosecutors say Ryan believed he was going there to meet the wife, Christine Banfield, for a consensual sexual encounter where he would tie her down and use a knife to cut off her clothes. Christine had no idea. According to prosecutors, Ryan showed up to the house and began carrying out what he thought was the agreed-upon plan, holding Christine down at knife point. The au pair told prosecutors she and the husband then burst into the bedroom with guns, pretending to be surprised, as if they hadn't set the whole thing up. According to the au pair, the husband, Brendan Banfield, called out police because he worked as a federal agent, then shot Joseph Ryan using his service weapon. Banfield then allegedly stabbed and killed his wife, Christine. The au pair says she shot Joseph Ryan too because he was still moving. He died on scene.
Today's agreement marks a significant step forward in this case, and it is an important development in our pursuit of justice for the victims and their families.
Prosecutors previously showed pictures in court of the au pair and husband together and the au pair at a gun range. She later told prosecutors she didn't want to go through with the murder plot, but Brendan Banfield allegedly told her it was too late to back out. He was arrested last month and charged with the murder of his wife and Joseph Ryan.
Juliana says she moved from Brazil to the U.S. on a work visa in October of 2021 to work as an au pair for Brendan and Christine Banfield, helping with their young daughter. Christine worked at Innova Health System. Brendan was a law enforcement agent at IRS. Juliana says she and Brendan started having an affair together about 1 year into her work, living with the Banfields in their Herndon home. Juliana says she was public about their relationship, and sometime around October 2022, Juliana says Brendan told her that he wanted Christine out of the picture.
Then I asked him, we're going to divorce her. He said, that's not what I'm thinking about. And then he explained that he was thinking about finding a way to just get rid of her for out of the picture.
During this interview, Juliana says Brendan was the mastermind who drew up the playbook of how he and Juliana would work together to stage Christine's murder. Over the next few weeks, Juliana says Brendan told her about a website called FetLife.com, a kink BDSM fantasy dating website. Juliana says Brendan created a fake profile on FetLife pretending to be Christine. She says the two of them would log on to Christine's work computer, attempting to solicit someone over to their house to perform a rape fantasy with Christine. Juliana says Brendan was looking for a specific type of person.
Somebody that sounded like violent and was kind of playing the way he wanted the person to play. So then that's when he started talking to Joe.
Prosecutors say 39-year-old Joseph Ryan from Springfield interacted with the profile that claimed to be Christine. Juliana said during questioning it was Brendan or her interacting with Joseph online, always pretending to be Christine. Now, this detail has been dubbed the catfish theory in court. Brendan Banfield's attorney says Brendan did not create the FetLife account. He says it was Christine all along. In court hearings leading up to the trial that's scheduled for October, a Fairfax County police detective trained in digital forensics testified that he pulled and analyzed all of the digital data on the devices that were used to access the FetLife profile. It was his professional conclusion that it was Christine on the computer, not Brendan. During the July 10th hearing, that detective was put on the witness stand and he was questioned about his work. He testified that his supervisors reassigned him off of the case against his will. Banfield's attorney is suggesting someone in the police department concocted the catfish theory based on something other than what the evidence shows. The prosecutors and the defense both agree. Someone was talking to Joseph Ryan online, inviting him over to play a rape fantasy with restraints and a knife. When questioned by prosecutors, Juliana said while the discussions with Joseph Ryan continued, Brendan took her to a shooting range to learn how to fire a gun. Fairfax County Police pulled records from the shooting range that show Brendan and Juliana at the range twice in the months leading up to the killings. Juliana also said Brendan made changes to the home before then.
They changed like the whole house, the whole type of a window.
Juliana describes Brendan buying what she called very expensive new windows that were more soundproof. She told prosecutors that Brendan wanted her to help him test them out.
And then I went outside in the driveway, and then he went up to the bedroom, and then he started like screaming and yelling to see if I could hear anything from outside.
And?
I barely hear. I couldn't really hear like much.
Juliana says the plan the day of the killings was for Christine to be in the home alone when Joseph Ryan arrived for the sex fantasy that he was invited over for. Juliana said Brendan pretended to go to work, but says he was really staked out about 6 minutes away. Juliana says she told Christine that other au pairs were taking their kids to the zoo that day, so Christine bought them zoo tickets. Juliana says she took the 4-year-old daughter to the car as Joseph Ryan pulled into the family's driveway, and that's when she called Brendan. They rushed to the home, Juliana says, pretending that they were catching an intruder. While all of this was happening, Christine was asleep in the house. Juliana told prosecutors that that is exactly what she and Brendan convinced Joseph Ryan he would find.
We told other people before that it was kind of part of the game where the person gets in the bedroom and then I may act like scared, like try to run or try to scream, but like or if the person starts doing something, she would just get kind of freaked out and try to resist. But it was like part of the game.
Juliana said what happened inside the Banfield bedroom on the morning of February 24th, 2023 was almost to the T of what Brendan had planned.
Well, we got an update on the trial of Brendan Banfield. He's that former IRS agent accused of plotting with the family au pair to kill his wife and another man back in 2023.
Yeah, today a judge ruled on whether statements made by Banfield's 4-year-old daughter should be allowed at her father's murder trial. Melissa Kim was in the courtroom.
When Christine Banfield and another man were killed, the Banfield's then 4-year-old daughter was in the house's basement. Fairfield County prosecutors argued in court today why they wanted to use that little girl's statement in her father's trial. Prosecutors allege Brendan Banfield of plotting with a family au pair to kill his wife Christine and another man lured into the Banfield's Herndon home. Investigators say Banfield and the au pair were having an affair. Police found Christine stabbed to death and Joseph Ryan shot and killed inside the home. Carla Claudio Silva, a senior forensic interviewer from the group Safe Spot Children's Advocacy Center, testified in court about the interview she conducted with the Banfield's then 4-year-old daughter. Claudio Silva met with the child on February 24th in 2023, the day her mother was murdered. That interview took place at Fairfax Police Headquarters and lasted 30 minutes. The defense said that interview should have never happened, given neither parent was present nor gave permission. But Claudio Silva says because the interview was conducted at police headquarters, she trusted that any vetting of a parent or guardian had already been done and was accurate. Today, the judge ruled that the interview could not be used as evidence because of its purpose, which was to gather more information about the crime, not because the 4-year-old was a victim of any direct abuse in this case. Right now, the trial for Brendan Banfield is scheduled for October. As for the au pair, Juliana Magales, she took a plea deal and pleaded guilty to manslaughter in the shooting of Joseph Ryan, the man in the house with Christine Banfield. In the studio, Melissa Kim, WUSA 9.
In the meantime, the investigation continued to roll on, as you would expect, and as befits the unraveling of such a bizarre situation. Now, after the search of the Banfield home, detectives had uncovered something of a digital trail after searching the Banfield's home computer. Brendan allegedly made a fake profile for his wife on a bondage website, the well-known to true crime aficionados FetLife.com. This site catered to BDSM and kinky sexual practices, and using the name Anastasia9, Brendan started chatting with a user named Joseph Ryan, a man with an interest in live-action role-playing as well as BDSM. Just don't get the two mixed up. The reason police realized that this wasn't actually Christine was because they noticed inconsistencies in the communication style. The messages differed from her typical speaking style, as described by friends and family. Though playing devil's advocate, would you expect someone to communicate the same way on a BDSM site as with your family and friends? But anyway, I digress. After this discovery, investigators also found that both Brendan and Juliana had replaced their phones days before the murder. Do we find that a bit sus? Yeah, I think we find that a bit sus. On the dodgy side. Through encrypted Telegram messages, Juliana posed as Christine, seducing Ryan into coming over for a consensual sexual encounter involving restraint and knife play. Ryan thought that he was meeting a willing partner. At 7:17 a.m. as Ryan got to the house, Brendan was waiting at a nearby McDonald's, ready to rush back as soon as he got Juliana's call. Mind you, always nice to have a McMuffin, before getting all murdery, allegedly. The couple left the baby in the basement and headed upstairs. Brendan allegedly called out, "Police officer," before opening fire on Joseph. Christine was stabbed repeatedly. When Joseph tried to move, Juliana shot him in the chest to make sure that he died. And then the cover-up began. According to forensic experts, Brendan smeared Christine's blood onto Joseph's body to make it look like he had killed her before he himself had been shot in a self-defense. Jesus Christ, finger painting gone psycho. And this conclusion came after a blood spatter analysis of the crime scene had been done. The report revealed that Joseph's body had been repositioned after he was shot. His arms were moved and Christine's blood was smeared on him. Juliana testified, as per her plea deal, that Brendan had lured Joseph to the house. Allegedly, he told her to call Joseph, pretending to be Christine, to confirm details and that both parties were willing participants. Brendan then gave Juliana a gun that he had bought a month earlier and also told her to call Christine's phone when she saw Joseph walk into the house. After that, he allegedly told her to call him, saying there was a strange man at the house and she was scared. The call to Christine went straight to voicemail because before Brendan had gone to work that morning, he had turned off her phone and put it in the kitchen drawer. Then when he got the call from Juliana, he was there sitting at McDonald's so that he could return quickly and potentially have a McMuffin. Obviously. Why wouldn't you? Then when everything went down, Juliana saw Joseph Ryan moving and shot him. On December the 16th, Brendan was indicted on additional charges of felony child abuse and neglect and felony child cruelty due to having their toddler at the home while all of this chaotic shit went down. And rightly fucking so. One thing prosecutors have questioned was why Brendan didn't shoot Joseph until after he was already stabbing Christine. And then even though Joseph was down, why did Juliana feel the need to go and get another gun and shoot him again? And finally, why did they wait a full 10 minutes before calling 911? With Deputy Commonwealth Attorney Kelsey Gill saying, "That is not what a person in that situation would do unless they were trying to cover something up." No shit. However, during his court hearing, Brendan didn't answer any questions instead choosing to plead the fifth. After this indictment, Brendan's trial was then pushed back from February the 3rd, 2025 to October the 20th, 2025. Juliana's mother, Marina Perez Souza, said that her daughter came to the US from Brazil as part of an au pair exchange program. She had applied to extend her visa and ended up living in the US for 2 years. Marina says that she believes that her daughter, who she calls Little Red Jewel, acted in self-defense to protect her family and herself, and that she should not be in jail. But we have to bear in mind that these are the blinkered eyes of a grieving, loving mother, grieving not the death of her daughter, but a life still nonetheless lost. Christine was a dedicated nurse, mother and wife who was betrayed in the worst way possible. In a September 2021 Instagram post, Christine had shared just how deep the bond between au pairs and the children they care for can be. She described her daughter's former au pair as her best friend, her sister, her third parent, her everything. Joseph was lured to his death, thinking he was meeting a woman for a consensual encounter. As Banfields' trial approaches, prosecutors are preparing for what promises to be a humdinger of a trial. And with Juliana now testifying against her former lover man, it seems like the truth about that grotesque morning in Herndon will finally be exposed. And all being well, he will have the book thrown at him for being a selfish, vile, and nasty bastard. But beneath all of the twists and crenulations in this story, there are still 2 innocent people dead. One torn away from a young child, who has now lost 2 or arguably 3 parental figures, while the other victim was the very definition of collateral damage. Killing someone we know is in itself abhorrent, but where feelings run deep, sense can be lost. But to involve a stranger simply to make one's story more plausible is pure evil. And these 2 shit biscuits have long lost any claims they have to humanity, and they deserve everything that they get. Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan may not have been perfect, but then none of us are. But neither deserved to be murdered in cold blood and to be framed in death in a seedy story used to justify their slayings. This video is of course dedicated to them, and I send love to all of those touched by the horrific events in Virginia. Especially young Valerie, whose world was utterly shattered by these events, and is now, I hope, shrouded by the love and support of family. Thank you for watching another episode of Murder of Crows. Don't forget that CrimeCon UK will be coming to Manchester very, very soon. And there is still time to get involved while tickets remain with one of the UK's finest true crime events. And if you use my code CROWS, you can get 10% off tickets and then come and see me at my Murder of Crows stand. But with that said, I'm Steve. This mercenary rat bastard is Samson. I don't hate him really, but he has his moments. But we will see you when we see you.
Say that you're ready, but you won't like it, you say